Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's Profit Maximizer Moment, the show that's dedicated to helping business owners dramatically improve their bottom line with our weekly profit maximizing tips that you can use now. I'm your host and coach, Wayne Belisle. I'm the founder of a local CPA firm. I work mainly with small business owners, and we basically work to help them do two things: make more money and pay less taxes on the money they make, all legally. We love our clients, but like I say every week, don't wish to go to jail with them. I'm going to jump right in because we're busy. First of all, hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I did. It was relaxing. It's a long week now that we have to come back after a short week. I'm sure everybody's feeling about the same. Anyways, how much should I charge for my product or my service? It's a question I'm getting quite a lot more often than I used to. And I think it has to do with the internet and the fact that everybody can price check. Okay. Um, First thing I need to stress to the business owner is that in the customer's eyes, how much the product or service costs you is of little or no importance to them. Price is simply an exchange of value for money. I'm providing you something of value, you're providing me money. All right. It's something as simple as that. So, this means that in order to make a sale, you first have to convince the customer that the value they receive is equal to or greater than the amount they're going to pay, preferably greater. All right. Another second thing to remember, though, is pricing is much more elastic than most owners think. Customers pay what they perceive to be the value of the product or service. Listen to that again. Customers are willing to pay what they perceive to be the value. All right. It's not important what you think the value is. After the business owner understands the above, we can start answering the following questions. How do I set prices? Have I reviewed my products or service or my service pricing lately? What are my competitors charging? What separates my product or service from the competitors? In other words, why should you buy from me? As simple as that. What do my customers place value on that I might not have considered something that they place value on? Um, an example, I never really thought about it. We answer IRS letters, and they put value on that. So the idea that we include that in the price of the tax return is something that they place value on. Okay, can I package my products or service to do value? We do that. We bundle things together. All right. The opposite direction, should I offer some of my bundle services or products individually? All right, a la carte. And we technically do that too. So we'll sit there and say, hey, um, maybe you don't need this, so you just want these things. All right, so we'll talk about that. Have you tested changing your prices to see the effect on customer retention and your new customer conversion rate? I've done that. Raised prices thinking I'd get less work because some of them wouldn't come back. Yeah, some didn't. Didn't really work though. Still busy as hell. But I mean, if your prices are where they need to be, you can afford to hire better help. You can afford to have better equipment. You can get the latest technology. You can be more efficient. All right. Plus, the people that are willing to pay your price are more fun to work with than the ones that are going to nickel and dime you all the time. All right. I lost my place. Oh yes. Next question. When was the last time you raised your prices? I'm amazed how often people don't. So what happens then is they don't raise prices, they don't raise prices, they don't raise prices, and then all of a sudden we have this inflation like we did now, or we've had a few years of inflation, or costs go up, and now I have no choice but to raise it. But instead of being a 1, 2, 3% raise every year, it's now I got to go 10, 15, 20%, which gets noticed. All right. People expect prices to go up. I mean, but they don't expect to have it jump dramatically. If you were to raise your prices by 10%, how many customers could you afford to lose before your sales were reduced? You'd be kind of surprised by that number. I actually think I have that here if you'd bear with me a minute. Let me see if I do or not. Yeah, wow. We're going to discuss this next week too. So, really kind of depends on what your profit margin is. What's profit margin? The price I sell it for minus the cost of the product. So let's say I have a profit margin of 60%. So my profit, I'm sorry, cost of 60% and my profit margin is 40%. If I raise my prices by 10%, what do you think I could afford to lose and be the same profit, the same gross profit? Amazingly, 20%. I would need to lose 20% of my customers before I would lose money on that price increase. People don't understand that. If I raise by 20%, I could lose a third of my customers and still make the same amount of money. All right. I don't, really don't want to do that, but you'd be amazed how often I run into people who are so afraid of raising prices because we're going to lose customers. And the problem is, and I do it too. All right. I do 600 tax returns and I'll have 4 or 5 who don't come back. And it's like, what the heck? I'm losing customers all over. And I need to sit down and look. Yeah, I lost those 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, 10, whatever. But I picked up many more who are paying the price that I'm now charging. So, yeah, but it's human nature to fixate on the ones you lost. Okay. Um, Look, if you haven't re-examined your pricing recently, you may be just surprised by literally how much money you're leaving on the table. So I'm going to give you some homework. You'll love that, huh? I'm always giving homework. Write down, excuse me, sorry, write down exactly how you set your current prices. If you don't know or just follow what you have always done, write that down. That should be an eye opener. Do an analysis of what your customers are charging. Start with a Google search, make a few calls, get somebody that they don't know to go in and just check prices. That's simple. Check online. All right. For each major product group, write down the main benefit your customer gets when they buy from you. Remember, you're focusing on answering the question, why should I buy from you? All right. Pull your best customers to explore what they put value on that you might not have considered. Tape these if possible. They can be used as great testimonials. Get their permission, of course. Um, Fifth thing, look for ways to package your products in order to raise the perceived value and the price. There always are ways. And the other thing that does is it makes it harder for people to compare you to somebody else because there's no book. Very rare do you find somebody who's packaging the same way you are. In the opposite direction, look for ways to offer some of your bundled services, or I didn't say this earlier and I should, things that you provide for free that you should be charging for. Look at those, okay? Finally, do the math on how many customers you can lose and still break even if you raised your prices by 10, 15, 20, 25%. All right. And then write a script announcing the new value added and the price increase, and then analyze the results. Look, next week, I believe next week, it might be the week after, so don't hold me to this. It's supposed to be next week. I'm going to go into why discounting is wrong, and then the week after, we're going to talk about how the correct way to raise prices, I believe. Yeah, raise your prices, but do this first. Okay. So next couple of weeks, pay attention. They're related to this week, and it's important that we get onto it. So, hey, until next time, don't be afraid to raise your prices. Don't be afraid to analyze your prices. Sometimes you might have something that you want to discount. I'm not a fan of discounting, but if I have a legitimate reason for doing it, then I will. Okay. Hey, until next time, this is Wayne Blau saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. And I'll see you at church. Have a great weekend. Thank you.